Stop everything you're doing for a moment and think about this. Have you ever noticed women who seem to always be in love affairs, as if love itself is a game to them? You might have even wondered, why her? Why does she never settle? Why does she keep moving from one affair to another? The answer isn't simple, and it isn't shallow. What you're witnessing is a complex combination of psychology, emotional patterns, and life experiences that shape why some women consistently chase love outside traditional boundaries. By the end of this video, you'll understand not just the how, but the why behind this behavior, and you'll see human relationships in a way you've never considered before. Let's start with the first secret: emotional hunger. Some women are not just looking for love, they are chasing a feeling, a rush, a validation that makes them feel alive. Affairs are not always about the person on the other side. They're often about the emotional experience itself. The secret thrill of a new connection, the adrenaline of a secret rendezvous, the intoxicating highs and lows. It can be addicting. The mind and heart can become conditioned to seek that stimulation, much like an emotional drug. Every text, every secret glance, every stolen moment releases a dopamine high that can override logic and long-term planning. Now, you might be thinking, but surely this is just selfish behavior. And yes, sometimes it can appear that way, but there's more beneath the surface. Many women who frequently engage in affairs have a deep-seated need for validation, often rooted in past experiences. Perhaps in childhood, love was conditional, inconsistent, or unattainable. That pattern can grow into a subconscious belief that love must always be earned, proven, or chased, rather than naturally given or stable. An affair becomes a stage to constantly test and reaffirm desirability, worthiness, and attention. Here's the second insight: fear of commitment or boredom. Some women don't necessarily dislike relationships, they dislike predictability. Long-term stability can feel suffocating or mundane, and affairs provide an escape from routine. There's a psychological thrill in walking the line, a tension that keeps them feeling alive and in control. When the routine of a normal relationship threatens to dull that excitement, the mind unconsciously searches for novelty. And it's important to note, this is not exclusively female behavior. The difference is in expression and social perception. Society often labels women harshly for this, while similar male behavior is sometimes normalized. But what about love itself? Is it real in these affairs? Absolutely, but it's often compartmentalized. Some women separate emotional love from physical or romantic desire, creating multiple layers of attachment. One affair may satisfy the need for attention, another for passion, another for emotional intimacy. These layers coexist without necessarily conflicting in their minds, because the brain is capable of managing complex emotional maps. Think of it like juggling multiple threads, each fulfilling a different need that a single partner cannot entirely satisfy. The next piece of the puzzle is ego and self-perception. For some women, being desired by multiple partners can serve as proof of worth and attractiveness. It's not vanity in a shallow sense, it's a psychological strategy to maintain self-esteem and identity. In a world where women are often judged by appearance, desirability, and social power, multiple affairs can act as a reinforcement mechanism. Every new connection is a mirror reflecting confidence, control, and social validation. You might be asking, does this mean she can't love deeply? Not at all. The truth is, many women who appear constantly involved in affairs are capable of profound love, but their patterns override stability. These behaviors are often unconscious strategies developed over years. When love feels risky, incomplete, or conditional, the mind compensates by seeking alternatives to ensure emotional survival. In some ways, it's protective. It allows them to experience love without fully exposing themselves to potential rejection or heartbreak in a single, vulnerable relationship. Here's a psychological insight that might shock you. Affairs are often about control, not in a manipulative sense, but in an emotional regulation sense. By keeping multiple relationships, they are controlling their environment, their feelings, and the pace of intimacy. Affairs can provide a controlled chaos, a way to experiment with love, passion, and emotional connection while retaining the ultimate control of withdrawal or escalation. It's a delicate dance, a balancing act between risk and security, desire and fear. Another factor that drives this behavior is societal and relational conditioning. Many women grow up witnessing patterns of infidelity, unstable relationships, or transactional love. Subconsciously, they may internalize these patterns as normal or expected. It's not always about rebellion. It's about repeating what feels familiar, even when it conflicts with long-term happiness. In essence, the mind often mistakes familiar chaos for normalcy, creating repeated cycles of affairs and emotional turbulence. And here's a twist many people don't realize. Some women use affairs as self-exploration. Each connection allows them to discover a part of themselves they cannot access in routine relationships, desires, emotional triggers, boundaries, and personal limits. Affairs can become mirrors reflecting hidden aspects of personality, preferences, and emotional needs. The repeated pattern isn't always about the partner. It's often about learning, experimenting, and understanding the self in a world that rarely offers safe emotional experimentation. Now, let's talk about attachment styles. Psychological research shows that some women who frequently engage in affairs have an anxious avoidant attachment style. They crave intimacy but fear full vulnerability. Affairs allow them to dip in and out of intimacy, feeling the warmth of connection without fully committing or risking emotional annihilation. It's a paradoxical strategy, seeking closeness while simultaneously maintaining distance. Understanding this can transform your perception from judgment to comprehension. And it's not just psychology. Biology plays a role too. Humans are wired for novelty and attraction. Dopamine spikes, hormonal responses, and the thrill of secret connections stimulate the brain's reward centers. This is why some women, like some men, unconsciously pursue multiple romantic encounters. Their brains are literally seeking emotional and chemical highs. In affairs, the risk amplifies the reward. By now, you might be thinking, so it's all just emotional addiction? Partially, yes, but there's a deeper narrative. Affairs often serve as coping mechanisms for trauma, boredom, low self-esteem, or unmet emotional needs. They are complex behavioral solutions to deep emotional problems. And in most cases, these women are not consciously trying to hurt anyone. They are navigating life with strategies that are familiar, functional, and protective to them, even if destructive in the eyes of society. But here's the hardest truth. Not all affairs are destructive. Some women maintain multiple connections responsibly, communicate openly, and ensure emotional consent from all involved. The difference is clarity, honesty, and self-awareness. The destructive pattern emerges when emotional needs are unmet, attachment wounds are ignored, and societal judgment pressures create secrecy and shame. Finally, if you've watched closely, you'll notice a recurring theme. Affairs are rarely about the partner alone.